Hey guys, just thought I'd come on here and give you my thoughts on um, Impact Wrestling's Homecoming. I did watch it live. In fact, I tweeted out some vids and all that to various people on Twitter like Delexman, Alex, if you will, Jeff, OTR Central, Chase Oliver, Jeff Meacham, Aaron Rift, you name it, Brian Zane. Just tweeted them out some videos, even some live feed as well. And I have to say that Homecoming I thought was decent. It wasn't, I'll put it this way, it wasn't on the level of Slammiversary from last year. Um, I would say it was above Bound for Glory a little bit. I mean, Bound for Glory was okay, don't get me wrong. But it felt, how do I put this? Homecoming felt more natural, felt more like what an Impact Wrestling pay-per-view should be. And I'm guessing that's because they were back at the Asylum. The ring setup was basically, the ring ropes were basically sort of the reddish orange ropes that they had before, back when they were at the Asylum. The setup for the Ultimate X match, very similar to when they first did it. So overall, again, it was a decent show. I'm not going to deny that. The first match, of course, was the Ultimate X match. It was Rich Swann, Ethan Page, Jake Chris, and I can't think of his name, but one of the guys from the Rascals tag team. And I have to say this match was a good match to really get people on the feet. It was everything in a sense that Ultimate X is. It may not have been up to the standards of previous Ultimate X matches, but these guys did what they could. Ethan Page, in my opinion, stood out because obviously, he's the bigger guy. He's kind of like in the middleweight division, if you will, kind of like fluctuating between heavyweight, cruiserweight kind of deal. But he did some tremendous things in this match as well. Heck, he did a spear. I believe it was the member of the Rascals. His name is Trent, I think. Was going across one of the ropes to get to the title, and Ethan spears him from the top rope. Ethan's on the top rope, and he spears this guy off the wire, if you will. Then this guy, even before that, this Trent guy goes up the scaffold, if you will, that's holding the ropes to go across. And instead of climbing up and going across to it, he decides to moonsault onto the other competitors. So, again, good. It was a great opener, terrific opener. Rich Swann definitely shined in this match too, because this guy, he took a double cutter, because Jake Chris got him, and I think he got Trent from the Rascals, and gave him a double cutter. So, and then later on, Jake Chris gave him a tombstone on the outside, dragged him all the way up to the entrance ramp, and then walked back to the ring to try to get him out of the way. That didn't work. In the end, it came down to Rich Swann and this Trent guy, and Swann was able to get to the X Division title, grab it, and come down with it. So, yeah, Rich Swann is your new X Division champion, which technically, I think puts him in a unique category, in a sense. Puts him in a unique category because he's one of the people. He now joins a list of people, not a big list, but a unique list of people that have won both the Cruiserweight Championship of WWE and the X Division Championship. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So yeah, great opener, and it kept people energized, kept the crowd energized at the Asylum for the rest of the night, and the action just kept going. Next match we had was Jordynne Grace. Okay, like I was saying, the next match was one that I think got set up after Thursday's events. It was Jordynne Grace, the powerhouse, one of the most powerful women in the sport, or in wrestling right now, teaming up with Kiera Hogan against Su Yung and Allie. And for a match that you might consider being added last second, the last minute, it was pretty good. Not the prettiest women's tag team match, but it was good. Jordynne Grace did shine here with her power and everything. Heck, they had a moment in there where she did basically a combination kind of like Powerbomb World's Strongest Slam kind of deal. Basically what happened is she had Su Yung hooked in kind of like a World's Strongest Slam position. Kiera was able to get Allie and put her onto the shoulders of Jordynne Grace, and Jordynne Grace was able to hit that maneuver. But in the end, there was a distraction. Jordynne Grace got missed in the face by Su Yung, and Kiera Hogan ended up getting pinned by Allie, who used Su Young's glove to put the mandible claw on Kiera to get the win. Now, despite the fact that the match was okay, wasn't the prettiest tag team match for the women, for the knockouts, what followed up was good enough. It was good enough to make up for that, because what happened at the end is Su Yung is doing a post-match beatdown on Kiera, and she's calling for her undead brides to come out and bring a casket. Now, for some of you that have followed Impact Wrestling and know about what Su Yung does here, Su Yung was planning to put Kiera Hogan in the casket, her and Allie, that is, or Dark Alley, as they call it. Well, that didn't happen, because the moment the undead bridemaids, opened up the casket, out came Rosemary. And fans were chanting for Rosemary, and out she came. And she took out the undead brides, she took out Su Yung, and then she had eye contact with Allie. And Allie was like slapping herself a little bit, because it looks like the story they're going with is Rosemary's going to be the only one that snaps Allie out of this condition. So when she goes to touch her head like this, maybe to kind of snap her out of it, Allie just gets out, just pushes her aside, or kind of swats, or kind of pushes the hand away and gets out of the ring. And she's kind of like doing this and all that, like she's confused. Like she doesn't know what to do now. So yeah, like I was saying, it looks like the direction they're going to go here with is Allie, because basically, like I said at the end, Allie was just like shaking her head, like she was confused. So it looks like the storyline they're going to go with is Rosemary's going to be the one that frees Allie. So we'll see what happens. The next match was Moose and Eddie Edwards, Falls Count Anywhere. This was good. I will say this. This wasn't as hardcore as you would expect, but it was good. I mean, they went all over the place, into the crowd, into the darkest point of the asylum, to the point that when they went up the stairs, they went into the location where if you followed TNA Impact Wrestling for a long time, where the Sports Entertainment Extreme locker room and area used to be. And what happened was Moose comes down. I'm trying to get away from Eddie, but Eddie gets on top of the railing, above the entrance, above the back area there, and dives onto Moose. Now Moose did dominate most of this match, but towards the end is when it really picked up. Both men went back and forth. They went chop after chop, up if you will. They blasted each other with chairs in the head and the back, candlesticks. And in the end, what happened was, as Eddie is wailing away, Eddie Edwards is wailing away on Moose with a candlestick, out comes his wife, Alicia Edwards. And at first, I'm thinking, oh, don't tell me they're going to turn her heel and turn her against her husband. Nope. Instead, she looks at Eddie, she grabs the candlestick, and she's like, let me do it. And boom, starts beating the crap out of Moose with it herself. And then she embraces Eddie, gives the candlestick back to him. He's able to hit him a couple more times, hit the DDT, cradle DDT that is, and gets the win. Now the question is this the end of it with Moose? Or are they going to continue this? My thought process is they're going to bring, I hate to say this because we saw her get shown on camera a couple weeks ago, several weeks ago, before Eddie was committed, if you will. So, are they going to introduce Moose's wife into the equation and have her go against Alicia? It's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting. So yeah, Eddie ends up winning the match. The next match we got was Sami Callihan and the Mac. This was good. This was also good. It was hard hitting. It wasn't the best, and I hate to say this about Callihan and Mac, it wasn't the best match. You could tell that they don't wrestle each other that often, so the chemistry seemed a little off. But it was good. It was really good. It came down to the fact that you had Dave Chris out there interfering, trying to run interference. To the point that towards the end, when it looked like they had Willie Mack down, Willie Mack just suddenly gets this burst of energy, and he popped. And after they hit some kind of like big move, after Sami Callihan hit some kind of big move, he barely gets a 1 count, and Willie Mack just gets up. It's like, what the heck's going on? So Sami tries to capitalize on the maneuver before that, hits him with a clothesline or does something, covers him again. Moose kicks out at 1 again, same energetic, and it comes down to Sami Callihan pile driving Mac into the ring to finally get the 1, 2, 3. But this was a hard hitting match, back and forth. Mac did a couple of aerial maneuvers, some topecias as they call them, where he landed on his feet and stuff. Heck, he did a cannonball maneuver where he basically did a 360 flip. It's like he did a cannon maneuver. It's like, here's Sami in the corner. Mac's coming like this. Does his somersault, and then it turns inside out, lands back on his feet. That's amazing. But yeah, Sami Callihan wins the match in the end. So we'll just see where they go from this after that. Next up, anybody would have to consider was the match of the freaking night. Probably a match of the year candidate. And we've just barely started the year. LAX against the Lucha Brothers, Pentagon Jr., and Rey Fenix. All I could say is, my God. You guys have to see this match to believe it. You have to. These guys basically went back and forth on each other. Pentagon Jr. and Rey Fenix did some flips, and topacios and suicide dives and all that, LAX answered in response. These guys just went back and forth. They chopped each other. They went. It was beautiful. It was a beautifully well coordinated wrestling match between two very good Lucha Libre teams. Heck, there was a point where Pentagon Jr. used, I think who was it? Santana as a springboard, because Santana got knocked down by Rey Fenix, or he had knocked down Rey Fenix. Pentagon came in, used him as a springboard, caught Ortiz in a freaking Canadian destroyer, a flip pile driver. It's like, whoa, what the heck? So yeah, it was just back and forth. There were several times where you thought they hit the finisher, they got the win, they were going to win, didn't happen. It was just crazy. In the end, it took several moves. I think it took several kicks to the head, to the chest, and then a backwards double suplex onto Rey Fenix to get the win for LAX and retain their championships. In the end, and afterwards, I should say, Konnan came out, basically said he admitted he was wrong about people not being ready for this, because, or even the four guys in the ring being ready for it, but obviously they proved him wrong, and he admitted that. He said how proud he was for the fact that it happened in the Asylum, in Impact Wrestling's original home. So yeah, all I could say is if you've not seen this match yet, go see this match. You will enjoy it. Then we had the Knockouts Championship match. Gail Kim, the referee. Challenger Taya Valkyrie. Champion Tessa Blanchard. Very good women's match. Storytelling really played a role here too. It's great hybrid. Great hybrid of the in-ring competition, showing some of the best women's wrestling they've had. I mean, Tessa Blanchard cannot have a good match cannot have a good match with anybody. Tessa Blanchard's like, you put her in the ring with Taya Valkyrie, Ali, Rosemary, it doesn't matter. She can have a good match with anybody. She cannot have a bad match, is what I'm saying. And she proved it here. She went back and forth here with Taya Valkyrie. There were moments that, Tessa did dominate somewhat during the match, but it was pretty good. Heck, there was a moment she had Taya on the outside, and she basically ran her knees right into Taya's face, right into Taya's head, I should say, and Taya's leaned up against the railing. This match was good. There is no doubt about it. This match between these two women was good. And again, the storytelling was great, especially towards the end. Because Tessa Blanchard, there were several times where it looked like Tessa thought she had won the match, and when it didn't seem like that, she got in Gail Kim's face. Even to the point that she started letting this frustration of not getting the win, not getting the 3 count, get to her, to the point that she started pushing Gail Kim. She started pushing her, and Gail's like, she had enough. She pushed her into Taya. Taya almost had her with a roll-up. That didn't happen. And then came, of course, the referee bump, where, Taya and Tessa were going back and forth. And what happened was Tessa, I guess you could say, inadvertently hit Gail when Taya ducked. Tessa inadvertently hit Gail in the head, but Tessa just shrugged it off like, oh well, them the breaks. Like she didn't care. And then she tried to take this opportunity to go and get the belt, because she didn't realize, because when she had, so what happened was she hit a finisher. She hit a maneuver, I think it was one of her finishers, on Taya Valkyrie, and Gail Kim was still getting up from being knocked down. So she doesn't get the 3 count, but instead she thinks, okay, I see opportunity here. She goes out to get her belt, not realizing that Gail's getting back up, and starts to see what Tessa has planned. So Tessa gets ready to hit Taya with the belt. Gail grabs it away from them. She has a bit of a tug of war with her, and Gail, when she pulls the championship away, accidentally pulls it and accidentally hits, as a result, Taya Valkyrie in the face. Which, of course, Tessa takes advantage of, orders Gail to come down and count 3. That doesn't work because Taya kicks out. And I think this is where Tessa Blanchard just finally loses it. She finally just snaps. To the point where she grabs Gail she gets in Gail's face, grabs her by the throat, and threatens to hurt her. But then Gail starts to fight back. I think Taya comes up and tries to get her off her, and this allows Gail to fight back. Hit Tessa with the eat defeat. And then this allows Taya Valkyrie to nail her finisher, the Something to Valhalla finisher, and Taya Valkyrie wins the championship. Now, what I think they're planning to do here is they're probably going to give us, down the line, a triple threat 3-way dance between these 3 ladies. You're going to probably throw Jordynne Grace in there now that she's done her thing with the whole Allie deal and Su Yung deal, so they'll probably throw her in there maybe, but right now it looks like the future plan is to do a triple threat or 3-way dance between Tessa Blanchard, Taya Valkyrie, and Gail Kim for the Knockouts Championship. I know some people don't want to hear that. Maybe you've seen here that's probably going to happen, but I think obviously it's leading towards that. But I think before that, we're going to get Tessa Blanchard against Gail Kim. I really do. And I expect something else to happen throughout as we build to the next pay-per-view involving Taya as well. Taya and Tessa, that is. Now, in between this, we also had the Monsters Ball between Eli Drake and Abyss. This was good. I'll say this. This was a good Monsters Ball match. Probably not as good as previous ones, but it was good enough, and it was hardcore enough to where you could say, yeah, it may not have been as violent as Sami Callihan and Pentagon Jr. last year, but it was violent enough. You had your typical Monsters Ball stuff here. Basically, the way we get started is Eli Drake tries to get on the offensive at first. That fails. And when Eli tries to do a sunset flip, Abyss takes a stable gun, which Eli used to attack Abyss at the beginning, takes the stable gun and basically snaps a staple right into the chest of Eli Drake. And these guys just, like I said, they just went back. Now, these guys, when it came to this match, went back and forth with the weapons. There's no doubt. They went into the crowd. They shoved a production crate into each other. There was even a moment during the match where Eli had Abyss trapped in between the ropes and was trying to knock him down into a set of 3 tables that Abyss himself had set up. But what happened is Abyss was able to counter Eli Drake, because Eli Drake took the time to kind of gloat and do his Eli Drake kind of deal. And as he runs out Abyss, Abyss is able to backdrop him onto 2 of the 3 tables on the floor, and Eli goes right through them. There's even a moment, of course, we get the thumbtack moment. We get Abyss bringing out his thumbtacks, and he tries to choke slam Eli onto them. That doesn't work at first. Eli takes this opportunity to grab a handful of thumbtacks, and tries to throw them at Abyss's face. Abyss ducks, and they land right into the face of the referee. Now, Abyss is able to take this distraction by Eli, by accidentally doing what he did, to try to hit a black hole slam, which he doesn't get the pinfall. Referee is trying to get the tacks out of his eyes or something. And I don't know why he was wearing gloves. There was no barbed wire. So he tries to get the tacks out of his eyes. And as he's trying to come to, basically try to recover a little bit, Abyss finally is able to drive Eli into the tacks acts, if you will. So I'll give Eli Drake credit because, like Chris Jericho several years ago, when he faced Dean Ambrose, you wouldn't think someone like Jericho would do something like that, but he did. So I think the same could be said for Eli. Eli Drake ends up going through the tax, but in the end, Eli Drake wins the match because what he does is he finds some zip ties underneath, zip ties Abyss in his hands and everything, and starts wailing away at him with 20 or more chair shots. And when that doesn't put Abyss away, he finally nails him with this boat oar, a couple of times, and that finally puts Abyss away for Eli to win. Now I don't know exactly what the situation is going to be here. I don't know if maybe he's going to announce on Friday, at the tapings that are going to air Friday, that he has killed Hardcore Wrestling, or that part of the deal for him to be in this match was if he won, then Impact Wrestling can no longer have any kind of hardcore style matches. I don't know. We would have heard something about that in his pre-match interview. So we'll probably find, I don't know if he's still going to be on a quest or what. We'll just have to wait and see. Just gonna, like I say, have to wait and see. But it was a good Monsters Ball. I will put it that way. And then we had the World Championship match. Johnny Impact, Brian Cage. This was good. This was a great... I mean, here's the thing. You want an idea. You want an idea of how to close a wrestling show, especially a wrestling pay-per-view show, with a world title match that people are going to get behind, people are going to get excited for, people are going to go back and forth with on who they're behind. This will do it. This is the kind of match that you have to follow because Brian Cage and Johnny Impact went out there and they gave it their all. Yes, Brian Cage was able to shine in the end. He was able to shine throughout the match, show his strength, show his dominance. But Johnny Impact, John Morrison, if you will, give him credit. He was able to also go back and forth with Cage, pull off some maneuvers. There was a point in the match where he got up on the top rope. Cage is on the outside. He gets onto the top rope and does what it looks like a Phoenix Splash, but he hits Cage in the head with his knee. So it's like a Phoenix Splash knee strike, which is, I think, pretty cool. And then he hits a couple of Moonlight Drives to try to put Cage away. That doesn't work. He hits Starship Pain. That doesn't work. What happens in the end is Cage gets knocked out of the ring and right into a couple of fans. Well, actually, the John Morrison's or Johnny Impact's co-stars on Survivor, and they get in Cage's face to try to interfere it, to try to get him distracted. Referee comes out, gets distracted by that, and I'm thinking when this is happening, I'm thinking, oh, don't tell me they're going to have Cross come out, interfere on Impact's behalf, and cost Cage the match, and thus Impact's going to turn heel. No, they didn't. Instead, what happened is the referee is finally able to get some order subdued. I was able to get the two co-stars of Johnny subdued, try to get them calmed down. Gets back in the ring because I think Cage, he hit his finisher. I think it was his Weapon X finisher, but did not have the referee in there in time to count to 3. So what happens, I don't know if this was a botch on the referee's part or what happened, but there comes a moment where they're doing some kind of like move. It's like a suplex move or something. And Johnny is able to fall onto Cage. Johnny Impact's able to fall on Cage. And he gets the 3 count. Now again, I don't know if that was a botch and it was supposed to go a different way with Johnny retaining or what happened. But yeah, Johnny Impact ends up retaining the championship. Cage, of course, is not too happy. He grabs the title kind of holds it in his hands and then tosses it at Johnny, like out of frustration, like maybe what happened at the end was, like, okay, like the plan maybe was for Impact to retain, but the way it ended maybe frustrated Brian Cage. Like, okay, maybe what happened is they botched the ending to the point that Cage felt embarrassed or something. I don't know, because even Johnny had a reaction of like, "Whoa, what just happened?" Because I don't think I think his reaction was somewhat legitimate, not really. Kind of worked. Sorry about that, guys, but like I said, even Cage is, even Johnny has somewhat of a worked, but sort of a hybrided, worked and legitimate like look on his face, or shocked look on his face, like, okay, I won, but that's it. That's it. It's over. The match is over. I won, kind of deal. But yeah, he ends up winning. Taya comes out and celebrates with him. They acknowledge that it's the first time in the history of the company, overall, TNA, Impact, whatever you want to call it, that a husband and wife duel, a legitimate husband and wife duel, a duo, I should say, not duel, but they basically acknowledge that it's the first time that a legitimate husband and wife duo were the top champions, were both the world champions of the respective divisions. So they're celebrating, they're going up the ramp, you get the Anthem, you kind of get the copyright logo at the end, which says Anthem Wrestling Exhibitions LLC. So they're getting ready to go off the air. You see the copyright logo on the end, which says copyright Anthem Wrestling Entertainment LLC. And then that's when Killer Kross comes out and starts attacking him. He attacks him. Tara Valkyrie tries to fight back, but she ends up getting a powerbomb into the crowd for her effort by Killer Kross. Yeah, so Killer Kross apparently is going to be the next challenger for Johnny Impact. Even though he had his title shot, it looks like they're going to go with him again, and it looks like, without a shadow of a doubt, that they're probably planning to push Killer Kross to the world title and make him the champion. Now, I mentioned earlier, and basically that's how they go off the air, with him, going, kind of deal, and pointing at his watch saying tick-tock, and of course that's after he powerbombed Taya Valkyrie onto some fans, or some plants, whatever you want to call them, in the crowd. So, yeah, it looks like he's going to be the next challenger. Basically, what I'm getting here is that, like I said earlier with the with the Knockouts Championship match, the way it ended and how it's probably going to play into things, and then we're going to probably get a triple threat or three-way dance as well down the line for the Knockouts Championship. But I think what we're also going to get in between that is a mixed tag team main event again. But this time it's going to be Tessa Blanchard and Killer Kross against Johnny Impact and Taya Valkyrie. And the way it's being planned out, and just the way they had Tessa kind of lose it a little bit during her match, I wouldn't be surprised if they pair her and Killer Kross up together as an item as well to go up against Taya and Johnny for the respective championships. Heck, we might even get a match down the line. If we know this company with the way we do, and how they want to kind of be innovative and change things and be the first at things, I wouldn't be surprised if we have a tag team match down the line, whether it's on an episode of Impact or it's on a pay-per-view, where both championships are on the line between Johnny Impact and Taya Valkyrie against Killer Kross and Tessa Blanchard, with the team, with whatever team winning both belts. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. So overall, though, decent start. Again, not on the level of Slammiversary 2018, but a decent start overall, and it was nice to see this company back home where it started. Heck, you even had several chants throughout. You had a "This is Wrestling" chant. You had you had that a lot throughout the night. You had "This is Wrestling, this is Wrestling." You even had an old school TNA chant breakout. You had awesome chants, you name it. overall, it was pretty good. Were there some production problems? The camera people need to be in better positions at times, but that was like a 5% negative right there, if you will. That was a five. That's basically like taking 5 points off. The camera angles, they need to be in better position. Uh, with the other technical issues, there were times where the picture froze just for a millisecond, like it just stopped for about a second and then resumed, kind of glitchy. I think that's because they're also like airing on the fight. They were also airing live on the Fight.tv app, or the Fight TV app. So that's FITE if you for the captions here on YouTube. But yeah, there were some, but overall I would say it's a negative combined 10 points off if you want to grade this. But overall, not too bad. I give it about an A for effort. So let's see if they can top themselves at the next pay-per-view, which we don't know which one that's going to be. It could be another Redemption, or it could be the Redemption pay-per-view for 2019. It could be Lockdown. It could be Slammiversary. We don't know. But we'll wait and see what they got in store next as far as the pay-per-view goes. But overall, decent show. Like I said, A for effort. I would say go and check it out if you want. But if you want to check it out in a more cheaper price, I would say check it out, the Fight TV app. It's $34 or $35 altogether, $34.99. $34.99, that is. As well as you can also find torrents on it as well. I was fortunate enough to finally watch it tonight, because the last time I tried to order an Impact Wrestling pay-per-view, which was Bound for Glory, couldn't do it because I still had to pay my bill. Here, because I paid part of my bill, I was able to order the pay-per-view. So I have to pay the rest this week, but that's about it. But yeah, overall, definitely check this pay-per-view out if you want to. Torrent it. Find it in parts on Daily Motion if you have to, if not the full thing. Order the pay-per-view if you like. I would say check it out. I think you're going to like it. Or if you want to wait till it shows up on GWN, do it that way too. So yeah, overall, decent pay-per-view. The other big news that came out tonight was apparently they are listening to the fans, because it seems that I believe Anthem Sports has realized they made a big, huge mistake, because they announced tonight, I think this was before the main event or the women's match, or the Knockouts title match, I don't know when it was, but they announced that starting this Friday, not only is Impact going to be on the Pursuit channel, which not a lot of us get, so obviously they know this, and obviously they heard the feedback from people of, yeah, some of us don't get Pursuit channel. Where can we find that? How can we keep watching Impact if we don't get that? Well, they made the announcement tonight that in response to pretty much realizing they pretty much made a mistake, or a botch, if you will, or a goof, by going to this Pursuit channel that not a lot of people have. In response, they have announced that they will be simulcasting Impact, not just on Pursuit, but they'll also be simulcasting it on Twitch TV, twitch.tv. So yeah, I think honestly that's a great move on their part. They realize that, yeah, they're going to a new network, a new home, but not a lot of people have that on the cable channels yet. So what better alternative than to go to twitch.tv? Now you might say, well, why don't they go with YouTube? YouTube's just as big, if not bigger than Twitch. That is true. And I think they're probably going to announce something like that in the future as well. Like maybe not a lot of people are going to want to deal with Twitch or anything like that. So they might even make an announcement in the near future that they might make a deal with YouTube. Not saying they will, but I have a feeling that's going to be the next step. But right now, they have made the announcement that in response to the fact that not a lot of people get Pursuit on the cable channels, on the cable companies and networks and wherever they live, that Impact will also be simulcast on twitch.tv. So I think that's a great move on their part. Smart move. and they did basically want to make a deal with the fans, saying, "Hey, if you can get us to 15,000 subscribers or something like that by March 1st, that'd be great." I don't know what the reward will be for the fans if they do it, but we'll see. So overall, not a bad pay-per-view. Like I said, A for effort, decent way to start out the year, and let's just see if they can build from this momentum. And again, it's great news that, and also, like I said, it's great news at the fact that Anthem Sports is realizing that, yeah, we might be moving to a new cable channel, but not a lot of people have it. So here's a solution to that problem by doing the simulcast for that same program at the same time it airs on Pursuit on Twitch TV. So great move on the great announcement to know that they realize that not a lot of people get Pursuit, so the best solution is to go with something that everybody does get, and that is Twitch.tv. So overall, like I said, decent show, decent opening for Impact Wrestling pay-per-view wise in 2019. Great announcement for them about the future of Impact Wrestling when it comes to it airing on Fridays, and now the fact that not only can you watch it on Pursuit if you get it, but you can also watch it on Twitch. So overall great, overall decent show, and a great announcement on their part as far as people wanting to continue to watch Impact Wrestling, even though it's going to be on a channel not many get. It's a great move on their part to also say, yeah, we're also going to be doing it on Twitch, because we hear that none of you really get this channel that much at all. Or basically them hearing that not a lot of us get that channel at all. So, great move on that part. But overall, I'd say if you want to check out Homecoming, check it out. And that's all I can say. Deluxe Man, if you're watching this, hopefully you guys take your time in watching this. I guarantee you'll enjoy it and you'll like that news too. So, till then guys, God bless, take care, I'm out.